Hey y'all, Max here, and welcome back to the show that still doesn't really have a name. So, about a month ago, the Black Friday week, it's not just a day anymore, the week opened up, and I pumped some money into the economy. I bought a bunch of presents for my family and friends, and I also did my yearly catching up on Switch games because everything goes on sale, so it's very easy to just buy a lot of Switch games. So, I'm just here to show you everything that I got. Some of these games are games that came from the game store. Some of them are from GameStop, Target, Best Buy, and there's also some limited run games that weren't Black Friday, but they just came in during the same time that all the other games came in, so I just figured I'd include them. There's a total of 68 games here, and that's a lot, so let's dive right into it. First one we're going to do, I'm going to go in descending ABC order, so we're going to start from the end of the alphabet and work our way to the beginning, which actually works out really well because the things I want to keep for last are at the beginning of the alphabet. So, first thing we're going to start with is The Witcher 3, Complete Edition. I know nothing about The Witcher 3, I just know it's a very big game. It probably shouldn't be running on Switch, but it does, and now I have it. Next is Vegas Party, so in case I ever want to gamble, I can do it on my Switch now. Exciting. Next is the Unicorn Princess. So a recurring theme that you're going to see in this video is that there's a lot of games I bought just because they were on sale and just because they were cheap. So, I'm a hoarder of video games, so they kind of just sit on the shelf. But if it's cheap, it ends up on the shelf. Unicorn Princess is one of them, which is pretty funny, I'm not going to lie. Next is 2 Point Campus. This one was from GameStop. This was actually kind of interesting. I don't know if you could see that there's a little bit of sticker residue in the corner. This was actually the display box that whatever GameStop shipped this one out, this was their display box. The game's in there, everything's in there, but it's still kind of funny. I also don't know anything about 2 Point Campus, but now I have a nice thick box to put on the shelf. Next is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. My understanding is that this is not a very good version of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater because it's on the Switch. But, now I can skate because there's not a lot of skating options on the Switch. Next is This Is the Police. I didn't know anything about This Is the Police prior to buying it. This is one that came from the game store. So when I got it, I didn't know what it was about. I thought it was just an interesting name. But when I booted it up, it puts you right into the middle of basically a corrupt justice system in a town. And that's sort of your adventure. I didn't get very far, but the concept seems really cool, and I should probably play this one. Next is Them Fightin' Herds, specifically the deluxe edition. This is hilarious. It is essentially Smash, but with animals. And it looks really cool. And Them Fightin' Herds is a really funny title. Next is Tetris Effect Connected, one of the games that came from Limited Run. One, it's Tetris. That's very exciting, but even though I haven't played this one yet, I've heard really good things about it. And that it is just an exciting version of playing Tetris with a lot of different options and a lot of different visual effects, which is very cool. So at some point, I should probably play Tetris on my Switch. Next is Temtem. Also, don't know anything about Temtem, but my understanding is that it's a Pokemon-like game. Again, it's a game that I bought because it was on sale. I can kind of see the characters on the front, why they would look like Pokemon, so it seems cool. Maybe at some point I'll play it, but, for now it's going to sit on the shelf. Next, I don't really like the franchise that this comes from. I don't really know why I bought them, but that's kind of the problem with a lot of this video. The first one is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Shredder's Revenge. It's a newer game, but, it's TMNT, and it was on sale, so it's cool. But this one is actually kind of cool, because I did hear good things about this one, even though I still don't really like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's the Cowabunga Collection, which is a collection of different TMNT games from over the years, and this one actually got really good reviews. So even if I don't end up playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, this is still really cool, and it was a really good deal, I'm not going to lie. So now I have 2 TMNT games that I'm probably never going to play. But that's okay. The next one is Taiko no Tatsujin. For those of you that got to watch the summer series on Japanese games, you saw that I got a couple of Taiko no Tatsujin games. And now I can play the rhythm game on Switch, which I think there are other Switch games that in this series. But if they are, I do not have them. So this is the first one. But I think this one's also relatively new. So that's cool. After that is another limited run game, Super Meat Boy Forever. I didn't initially get this when it came on limited run. It was still kind of early when I really started buying limited run games, unfortunately. But it was on Best Buy, so I ended up buying it on Best Buy. And now I have Super Meat Boy Forever. Now I just need to get Super Meat Boy. Okay, moving forward. We have 2 Story of Seasons games. The first one is Pioneers of Olive Town. My understanding is that Story of Seasons is basically Harvest Moon's reincarnation. And whatever Harvest Moon used to be is what Story of Seasons now is, and whatever Harvest Moon is now, it's just whatever Harvest Moon is now. Don't know much about it, but it's on sale, so I bought it. With a lot of other things. So here's one of the games. The other one is Friends of Mineral Town, which also came with this really neat figure. Not that I know anything about Story of Seasons or their figures, but now I have a little pink cow to go along with Friends of Mineral Town. Okay, moving forward, we have Squish. This was a game that I think GameStop is just trying to get rid of all their copies because it was super duper cheap, and I know nothing about it. And just even looking at the back, I'm not entirely sure what it is, but Squish is a funny name. Next game is a game that most people watching this video have probably played, Splatoon 2. Not that I've ever played Splatoon, not that I know a whole lot about Splatoon, but I know it's one of Nintendo's biggest IPs right now, and this was in the game store and we had it on sale, so I picked it up. Next is a really random game that was on sale. It's SnowRunner. So now if I ever wanted to play as a truck that drives in the snow, now I can. I'm dead serious about this. Next, another set of games that I don't know much about the series of, and I probably will not play much of any of them, but they were on sale, and I know a lot of my friends play them. So, naturally, I bought them. They are Shin Megami Tensei 3 and 5. That's all I can say. I don't know a lot about them. And this is not the first time that a JRPG is going to pop up in this video that I will not play. Next one is one I've actually really been looking for. It is one of 2 games in this video that were not on sale and were not from any of the retailers that I mentioned before. These were actually 2 games that were on eBay. And amidst just buying games, I said, okay, let me pick up 2 games that are never going to be at any of the major retailers, just for different reasons. Either they're a little bit older or they were not released widely. And this is one of them. So Runner 3 is one of them. Runner 3 is a really cool game. I believe I'm pretty sure it was Retro Game Con in the previous video that I mentioned. I got Bit Trip Complete, which was sort of a series of WiiWare games that were bundled into one, and it's basically rhythm games. And Runner 3 is not necessarily a Switch port, but it's a definitely more fleshed out version of the Bit Trip series, which is really cool. And at some point I actually do want to play this because this does look awesome. It looks beautiful. Next is RPG Golf Legends. Just a limited run game that had golf in it, and I don't really even like golf. So I'm not really sure why I have this, but there's a lot of games here that I don't know why I have, but so it goes. Next, another game that was just super cheap, Rainbow Billy Curse of the Leviathan. I believe it's a puzzle platformer, which looks actually really cool. I don't know much about it, and I thought Rainbow Billy was a more widespread series, but when I went to go look, it was only like 2 games. This one and the one on the PS4. So that's kind of interesting, and I think at some point I will give this a shot. Next, a game that had to be on sale or else I would not have bought it, because I don't really, of all the series on here, this is one I really don't like. I think Rabbids are very annoying, so I bought Rabbids Party Legends. So now I guess I could play Mario Party with Rabbids if I really wanted to, but I wouldn't do that because I have Mario Party. But yeah, I really don't like Rabbids, and in fact, I think Rabbids are like discount minions, even though Rabbids came first. So, great. Fantastic. Next is Plants vs. Zombies, Battle for Neighborville. Plants vs. Zombies is a tower defense game, and this is just one that came out on the Switch with a ton of DLC included. I don't really know much about the series otherwise, because I would never have played a game called Plants vs. Zombies, and it wasn't until I bought this game that I understood that it was a tower defense game. And there's a couple of tower defense games that I like. I don't know if I'll actually play this one, but now I have it in case I want to. Next, I mentioned before, Shin Megami Tensei, JRPGs that I'm never going to play. So let's show the other two games that are JRPGs that I'm never going to play. They are Persona 5 Royal and Persona 5 Strikers. Same thing. I bought them because my friends play them. I probably won't play them myself, but now they can sit on a shelf. Recurring theme here, it just sits on the shelf. I have a problem. Next one is a game I do actually really want to play at some point. It is Pac-Man World Repack. So Pac-Man World was a game that originally came out on the PS1 and was essentially Pac-Man's first foray into doing more than just being an arcade game, which is really cool. And I very distinctly remember playing Pac-Man World at like a Wegmans like daycare part. Like, so your parents would go shopping at a Wegmans and they would just drop you off, and they would have like, you know, a little playground. They would have game systems set up, and I actually played Pac-Man World. Not that I remember it, but I had that very distinct memory of playing Pac-Man World. So I never would have finished it. I didn't have a PS1 growing up, but now is my opportunity to actually experience Pac-Man World in a more updated fashion. Next, sticking along with the Pac-Man series, is Pac-Man Museum Plus, just a collection of different Pac-Man games from over the years, different arcade games in the Pac-Man series, and there's a few games on here that I never really had the chance to play, so at some point I do want to play them. Pac-Mania should be on here. At least I thought Pac-Mania was on here. Oh, Pac-and-Roll. Pac-and-Roll's on here, and I do want to play Pac-and-Roll at some point. Next, wow, okay, there was another JRPG that I'm never going to play. No More Heroes 3. It's the same thing that I said about Shin Megami and Persona. So No More Heroes 3. Except I do know somebody that is hopefully watching this video that I do know really likes No More Heroes. So maybe I'm making him proud. Who knows? Next is a game that came out very recently. It is No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky is the game that has procedurally generated levels that you play. So you almost never play the same game twice. Or it'd be very difficult to play the same game twice. Very unlikely. One reason that this took a long time to come to Switch was because of how immense it is. So very similar to The Witcher, it probably doesn't belong on Switch, but I know Alex Only of Nintendo Life has played a ton of this, and he says it works just fine. So at some point I do want to give this at least a shot. Next is another game that also came out very recently. Now that I'm looking, I think they probably came out just a couple weeks apart, is Nier Automata. That's at least how I thought it was pronounced, but my understanding is it might be pronounced differently. But Nier Automata, which I believe was like a PS3 or Xbox 360 game. I probably won't play this, but it was on sale, so you know, just like everything else in this video, I just had to buy it. Oh, goodness. Two games that I actually will play at some point. If nothing else, then, you know, just for the laugh. They're the Nick Kart Racers games. Obviously, they're not Mario Kart. They're not nearly as good as Mario Kart. But now I have all three. I have, this is one that I've been looking for a long time. 3 came out just in October. And I have Kart Racers 2 from last Black Friday. So now I have all 3. Isn't that exciting? A kart racer that I'm never going to play. I believe it was last year that I got Nick All-Star Brawl. But just this year they released Nick All-Star Brawl, the Ultimate Edition. So all the DLC already included, which seems kind of weird because Nick Brawl isn't even that old. So the fact that they're kind of done doing DLC and this is just where all the DLC is going to be, I guess it's kind of sad that it's not going to have more DLC, but at least now the game isn't lost to time. Or the DLC isn't lost to time, I should say. Another game is on sale, super cheap, which apparently this game came out not all that long ago. Not that I know anything about it. Mozart Requiem. There's a problem with my order from GameStop, so I went into GameStop and I talked to them, and this is one of the games that there was a problem about. But when I was talking to the guy at GameStop, he was like, "Yeah, this is a really good game." I don't even know what it is, so maybe I'll play it. It looks like a music game about Mozart, but I have no idea. But he said it was a good game, so you know, maybe I should really give it a shot. Next, another 2 games that I will probably never play because they're just going to sit on the shelf. 2 games out of the Monster Hunter series, Monster Hunter Stories 2, which I didn't know there was a Monster Hunter Stories 1, or at least, okay, I knew there was a Monster Hunter Stories, I didn't know there was a second one. Now I have the second one, I don't have the first one, and then Monster Hunter Rise. Don't know anything about the Monster Hunter series. I know it's a very good series, I can say that, but I don't know much about it otherwise, so maybe somebody can vouch for it and tell me to play it. Next is, one of the greatest games of all time, because we love board games here. Monopoly. Specifically, this is Monopoly with Monopoly Madness. I already have Monopoly on the Switch, but this one has Monopoly Madness in it. Yay. It's probably not that much different from Monopoly. Or if it is, I'll probably just stick to playing regular Monopoly. Which, if anything, I should at least vouch for Monopoly Party on the PS2 and GameCube, which is kind of weird that I'm vouching for a very old gen game when I'm showing you Switch games, but Monopoly Party, that game's the stuff. Next is Miraculous, which I've never heard of this game before. It was on sale at GameStop, so again, I bought it. You guys get the idea, but I've never heard of it. But it looks pretty cool. It doesn't mean I know a lot about it, but it still seems neat. It looks like some sort of superhero game. Just reading the back, it looks like Ladybug and Cat Noir. That's about all I got. Next is, I'm sort of familiar with this game. I know this game is originally a Wii game, so I don't know if this is a port or if it's a sequel. I'm assuming it's a port. But we have Martian Panic, which apparently there's a bundle coming out. It's like it's called the Blaster Bundle, which is going to come with a Martian Panic blaster with a download code to the game. I bought it on Black Friday because for whatever reason it's a pre-order, but GameStop had it on sale, so I bought the Blaster Bundle, but I'm not really sure when that's coming in. But now I can at least play Martian Panic. Next, probably the only... Nope, there's at least one more AAA title on this in this video, but the big one that if I had to buy one game in all of Black Friday, it was probably this one. Mario Party Superstars. It's the more recent Mario Party for the Switch. I already have Super Mario Party, but Mario Party Superstars came out last October, and it took until, pretty sure it was last October, came until now to go on sale, which is not uncommon for Nintendo games. But it was on sale like really cheap at Target of all places. Like it beat GameStop and Best Buy by miles. So had to jump on that as soon as I saw it. So that's pretty cool. Next is Little League World Series Baseball. I have very fond memories of playing Little League World Series 2008 on the Wii. And this is just another game in the series, but my understanding is this game is bad. Really, really, really bad. Somebody I work with told me he tried it, and it was just not good. At some point, I'll play it for myself. I do like the Little League World Series. It's just kind of sad that they botched it with a game, apparently. Next, I had meant to get the other game in this series, but this is the only one that I ended up buying. Life is Strange, the Arcadia Bay collection. I also wanted to get Life is Strange True Colors. I didn't end up getting it for various reasons, but I know Life is Strange is a pretty good series, so maybe I'll play this at some point. Next, I forgot that this game existed, specifically the one on the Switch, but Lego Harry Potter came out on the Wii, and we got the Lego Harry Potter collection on Switch. So now I can play Lego Harry Potter. More specifically, my sister likes Harry Potter. She has played the Lego Harry Potter games, so now I can have her play it on the Switch. Next, the other of the two games that I just bought on eBay because I've been looking for it, it is Later Alligator. Later Alligator got a release, I'm pretty sure on Best Buy, and I'm pretty sure on GameStop, but I guess was pulled fairly quickly because it was probably only last year it was available. It's a point-and-click game. I don't know anything about it, but the title Later Alligator is awesome to begin with, but at some point I do want to play this. Also, just looking in the corner, it's by Fangamer, so that might be why it was a limited release, but still, I'm pretty sure I saw it at major retailers, so I'm not too sure. Next game, it's just really funny and very odd. It's called Kiwi. Kiwis are these little birds, so I'm not sure why it's spelled like this. I'm just reading the back. Become a master of the mail service as two small kiwi birds working in a fun and frantic postal office. That sounds ridiculous. I probably have to play it after reading that. Yeah, this is just odd, but Kiwi. We're getting there. Next, I know a lot of people are pretty crazy for this anime. It's a very well-known anime, and some of the older games on other systems are very expensive. This one is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R. Don't know much about JoJo. I don't really watch anime, but it was on sale, and I know that it's a pretty famous anime, so I ended up buying it. Next is It Takes Two. Somebody was talking to me about it very recently. I'm familiar with It Takes Two. I'm pretty sure the game is older and it only just recently came to Switch. At least recently came to Switch physically. I could be wrong, but I've heard tremendous things about It Takes Two. It's a very unique game because you have to play it with two people. There's no way around it, but it's still very neat. And at some point I should give this a shot with somebody. So, still very cool. Next is Instant Sports Plus. I don't even know what sports are. Let's see. There's 15 mini games of different sports. I see mini golf on here, jet ski, wakeboarding. No idea. It was just on sale, but now I can instantly play sports. Plus. That's all I got. Next is a game that I know was very popular last year, which has me really surprised, but I probably underestimate this franchise. It's Hot Wheels Unleashed, and I know one of my friends was over the moon about getting this game last year, and he ended up getting it, like a specific, collector's or special edition thing with a figure. I don't really like Hot Wheels that much, but when I saw it on sale, I was like, okay, maybe I should see what the hype is all about. Just a matter of playing it now. Next, another game that came from Limited Run, even though it's not one of their specific games, it's a game they distributed. It is Good Pizza, Great Pizza, which it's just running a pizza shop. But Good Pizza, Great Pizza is a very cute title. It looks like a very cute title. So at some point I should play this. Next, I found out is a GameStop exclusive, and it is just as ridiculous as it's about to sound. Not that I've played it, but I'm sure it is as ridiculous as it sounds. Gas Guzzlers Extreme. Couldn't tell you anything about it. I'm sure it's a very over-the-top racing game. That's all I can tell you about it, that it's a GameStop exclusive. So, yeah, I get to race some more. Next, it's a series that I wish I experienced more. I just never really played a game in this series, but at some point I really do want to play the series. I have Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. I know some of the other Fire Emblem games are absolutely incredibly critically acclaimed. So I really should play the Fire Emblem games at some point. I believe I have Fire Emblem Warriors, just regular Fire Emblem Warriors, or I have Fire Emblem 3. I'm mixing up the titles, but now I have another one of them. Next is Endling, Extinction is Forever. I know nothing about this game, and I'm only reading the back for the first time. As the last mother fox on Earth, your cubs need all your care to survive in a merciless world on the brink of destruction. Maybe I should give this a shot, because that does sound pretty neat, and it could possibly be heart-wrenching. Who knows? Next is a game that I think came out last year. I could be wrong. I don't really remember when it came out, but I remember when it was announced. I believe this was a Japanese exclusive for a really long time, until this game came out, which was an attempt to bring the series to the West. I could be wrong. Somebody fact-check me, but it is Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. So I believe, I could be wrong, that it's a collection of Doki Doki literature games from Japan that were brought to the West so that people could experience them. That's about all I know about it. Sorry. Next is Disney Magical World 2, the Enchanted Edition. Disney Magical World 1 came out on the 3DS. I don't have a 3DS, but I do have a Switch, so I got Disney Magical World 2. Don't know what it's about, but we love Disney here. Next, bought this game entirely for the title and because it's on sale, but it is Crazy Chicken Extreme. I'm looking at the back and it says 3 exciting locations, so there might only be 3 levels to this game, which is really funny if that's the case. But chickens are also funny. Next, somebody is going to be laughing at me, wondering what the heck is wrong with me. This might be even worse than Unicorn Princess, but it was on sale, so I had to buy it. CoComelon Play with JJ. So now I can sing Baby Shark all day long while I'm playing the CoComelon game. That's all I got. It's just really funny. Last year I bought My Friend Peppa Pig, and so maybe that's the similar to what I am buying this year, just random kids games that are just going to sit on the shelf. But it's kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie. Next, another game that came out very recently, the Capcom Fighting Collection, which is a game that apparently got really good reviews. So I'm surprised that with how many good reviews it got, and that it's still fairly new, that it was on sale. I mean, there's some other games that were also very recently released, but I feel like a Capcom Fighting Collection wouldn't go on sale all that frequently. But now I have it. Next is Big Brain Academy, Brain versus Brain. So Big Brain Academy came out on the DS. It was a good way to show what the DS was sort of capable of. Not entirely, but it was a pretty popular game. It was pretty mainstream. It was just a way to force kids to learn. So on the DS and Wii, and they've had other games since then, but now we can do it on the Switch. Next, I believe it's one of the only 2 AAA titles when I went to go check. Mario Party Superstars was the other one, but we also have the first Bayonetta. I do not have Bayonetta 2. I don't have Bayonetta 3. They weren't on sale, but this one is cheaper than both 2 and 3, so at some point I will get them. But I know Bayonetta is a humongous IP, and I know there was some drama around it this time around. But moving forward is Balan Wonderworld. Yikes. It was one of the cheapest games that I bought on Black Friday because of how bad it is. And because of how bad it is, Square Enix was sued by Yuji Naka, one of the people who were working on the game. He sued them because the game wasn't done, and he was fired before the game was done, and they released a game that wasn't done, so it did very poorly, and his name was then attached to it, almost like a pseudo-defamation claim. But then just a few months later, he was arrested for insider trading, and then arrested again for insider trading, like, within the past month. I feel bad for the guy, but, like, that's kind of funny. What a strange turn of events that Balan Wonderworld has created. Similar to Miraculous, I've never heard this game before, but it looked really cool. It's Astroneer. Don't know anything about it, but it looks very neat. It looks like, honestly, it looks like it could be No Man's Sky. It's definitely not. It's not going to be No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky is incredibly unique. But, maybe if I want to play as an astronaut at some point, now I can. So we are winding down. We are in A, right? That was Astroneer. The next one is Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Every expectation you have that this game is bad, yeah, it probably is. There's probably no reason to play this game ever. But if I want to prove that I'm smarter than a fifth grader, now I really can. Last but not least, before the very ending stuff, the very funny stuff, is another game that came from Limited Run. It was just distributed by Limited Run, not a Limited Run game themselves, but it's Arcade Paradise. Good pizza, great pizza is sort of like running a pizza business, and Arcade Paradise is like running a arcade. And my understanding is that you can play a lot of old arcade games on here. I don't know which ones, and I'm sure they probably didn't get the licensing to do like Atari games, but not only are you, simming running a business, you can also play arcade games, which is pretty cool. Okay, now we are winding down to the very end. Thankfully, the 2 games that are at the beginning of the alphabet are also the funniest. So the first one is now that I have to reveal it, it's even funnier. But we have the Among Us Imposter Edition. I have Among Us Crewmate Edition, which was just the game. Not that anybody plays Among Us anymore, and this is probably going to create, more memes than there already are. Amogus. But the Imposter Edition, which, just looking at the back, it has 6 downloadable PC and phone wallpapers. It has Among Us the Crewmate Edition, which is the game. Purple Crewmate with crown plush. There's a holographic access card. There's a lanyard, an enamel pin, and a sticker set. Isn't that just so exciting? Now, that could be where the meme ends, but it doesn't, because not only do I have Among Us the Crewmate Edition, I have Among Us the Imposter Edition, but now I also have Among Us Ejected Edition. Both this and the other and Imposter Edition were on sale. They came out, I think, not this past summer, the last summer, and they were on sale, and I had to do it. It's so funny. I don't know where I'm going to put this. This one's so big. The other one's so big too. I really don't know where I'm going to put them because I don't have any room for them. This one looks like everything the other one has. It also has a beanie. It has a beanie and it has a fleece blanket. So you can't get much more ultimate than being ejected in Among Us. So that's the entirety of the games, but I did want to leave one more item that I did buy on Black Friday. It's Claminaze.